So this little girl completely ignored me and only speaking to the other Japanese co-worker who was newer than me.
Got him!
Everybody relax, unclench your ass cheeks, and put down the pitchforks. Before anyone gets defensive in the comments, no, this is not a Japanese people are bad video, so don't start defending air. Relax, breathe. The title is clickbait. Japanese people are not rude, unless you're a resident. But being a foreigner in Japan can feel rude sometimes. And that's what we're actually talking about. Japanese people are generally very kind and very polite and very thoughtful, unless you're a resident. But being a foreigner here comes with some very specific social experiences that are interesting. Some are funny, some are awkward, and some make you pause and go, okay, what the fuck was that? If you live here, you felt this. If you're visiting, you might feel it. And if you're thinking about moving here, consider this your heads up. Now, one of the biggest things is how fast people assume you can't speak Japanese. You'll be mid-conversation, fully responding in Japanese, and the second you pause to think for half a second, they panic. Suddenly it's broken English, hand gestures, slower talking, same sentence repeated louder. And it's like, I didn't say I didn't understand, I just needed 2 seconds to form my sentence. I mean, I even do this in English, you know? And taking a pause does not mean the language left my brain suddenly. And this happens at work too, especially at work. You can answer questions correctly all day, but one tiny misunderstanding and it's immediately, oh, maybe Japanese is difficult for you. No, the situation was just unclear. There's a difference. Now, this one is going to be very, 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 very layered, okay? The next topic that is coming up is going to be very, very layered. So I really need you to pay very close attention, okay? Because this one is going to be very, very layered and very, very detailed. So I really, really, really need you to lock in. This is a very layered part of the story. So please lock in. Working with Japanese women.
Wasting your time, drinking that wine, smoking that smoke.
And the funny part is, Japanese people love to say that foreigners can't read the air. That is 100% not true, especially if you're American. I'm not really sure about other cultures or countries, but us American people, especially us Black American people, oh no, we read energy and we read air. We can read that shit like a Dr. Seuss book. We read energy just fine. You do not need N1 Japanese to understand when somebody is being, just a little off. I don't need to understand every word to understand the tone. So let me tell you a story. A couple years ago, I was on my lunch break and I wanted some Starbucks. It was fall, I was feeling cute, and I love to get the seasonal drinks. In America, I love the cinnamon dulce latte. Oh my gosh, I miss that shit so much. So I read online somewhere that Japan has it. I can't remember what source I got this from, but from this day, I double checked my sources. So I go in all happy, confident, ready to order it. So I ask for it. And the woman is immediately confused. She's like, Cinnamon do, And I'm like, oh. And I just repeat it and I try to explain it. And so she's confused. So another staff member comes up and they're like, cinnamon do shit. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so another staff member comes. So at this point, it's like 4 of them up there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And they're just repeating cinnamon dulce latte like it's like at this point I'm just like, bro, I will take a normal coffee. You don't have to figure it out. I'm so sorry. People are staring. I'm stressed. At this point, I don't even want the drink anymore. Just give me a white mocha. Eventually, somebody says, "Tabun nai." And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I will just have a white mocha latte. And then the original staff member goes, cinnamon dulce latte, where do they sell this? And I say, oh, in America. And then she says, oh, oishiso. I'm just like, after that whole production, all this would, a simple sorry we don't have that would have ended it like 10 seconds ago. Like in America, it's just no and next. In Japan, you know, they have to give you a full performance. Now, this is not a bad thing. I just find it funny and cute at the same time that it took them so long to say just no, we don't have that. It was funny. So another coffee related incident, because apparently coffee is my villain in Japan. So a couple years ago, it was my first time ordering coffee at 7-Eleven. So when you go to Family Mart and Lawson, when you ask for the sizes, they always use S, M, and L. Easy. So you'll say, I want hot coffee S, whatever, at both Family Mart and Lawson. Now 7-Eleven is a little different with the sizes. 7-Eleven, they use R and L. So I say, I want a hot coffee R size. They freeze. Confusion! Calling another staff member to someone who actually speaks English, and they asked me in English, what size do you want? And I said, R? And they said, oh, regular! Because the R means regular, which I guess is small, and the L just, of course, means large. Apparently, you don't say the letter, you gotta say the word. Well, fuck me, I didn't know, which is fine, you know, but once again, very dramatic for something very small. But I understand, I didn't know, they didn't know, it's all good. Now, this one I don't think is very common unless you work with customers or with the public. This is something that's happened to me personally, where customers will walk in and see you clearly and still look around for a Japanese person. You call out to them, they hesitate, they ignore you a little bit, they wait and wait and wait until they realize ain't nobody else coming. Then suddenly you exist. It's not malicious, sometimes it's just discomfort and lack of confidence that you can speak to them. But standing there for 20 minutes instead of just speaking to the person in front of you, that's a little crazy though, I ain't gonna lie. Now, I think this one is very common. If you're out with a Japanese friend or partner or a Japanese person in general, you already know this. The staff will speak to only them, look only at them, ignore you completely. Even if you're the one ordering, even if you're the one talking, even if your Japanese is fine. Sometimes they'll literally confirm what you said by looking at the other Japanese person next to you. Like, was I invisible or some shit? Like, what, why? This happens to a lot of foreigners, not just me. Now, this one still annoys me to this day because it happened at my bitch ass job. So when you work in Japan, depending on the company that you work for, even though you applied for a specific job title, they train you in things that you never imagined you'd be training in. They train you on everything. So at my job, you know, we have to do photography for some promotions and SNS. So I was doing some camera training. So me and another staff member who was a little bit newer than me were doing some photography training. Now I had more experience than the staff member that I was training with, but my boss had brought in someone newer than me and her. And my boss did let this girl know that, hey, Celeste is more experienced, so if you have any questions, please ask her. And then she kind of looked at me with skepticism. So this little girl completely ignored me and only speaking to the other Japanese co-worker who was newer than me. All right, cool bit. So we hand her the camera so she can take a little swing at it. She touched the camera, something was wrong with it. She was like, oh, why are the pictures all of a sudden coming out so dark? So she hands my Japanese co-worker the camera, once again ignores me, and they couldn't figure it out. So I look at the camera and I said, oh, it's the shutter speed. It's too high. And they were like, no, it's supposed to be at 250. And I'm like, are these bitches serious? So I stand back for a minute. They struggled and still couldn't fix it. So I took the camera. I was like, give me the camera. I adjusted the shutter speed back down to 125 where it should have been. Problem solved. Silence. Oh, the embarrassment on their faces. Their faces turned red and they were like, oh, sorry. And I didn't even say anything because what was there to say? I told you so? No, you don't say that in any situation at work unless you're really that savage. And it really just makes you wonder if people assume foreigners are incompetent by default. Now, none of this is meant to attack Japanese people, of course. These are just everyday social situations that come with being a foreigner here. Some are funny, some are frustrating, some you just learn to laugh at. Japanese people are not rude. Most of the time, it's misunderstanding, communication barriers that they cannot face head on, and that is a problem of their own that we cannot step in and fix with an interaction or a lecture. It's deep rooted. Japanese people are not robots. They are not perfect. They are human just like everyone else. Culture and nationality change behavior, not basic humanity. And if you're thinking about moving here, just know this is part of the package. Still love it here though. Yeah. That's Japan. All right, YouTube. See you in the next vid. I'm out. Bye.